Before I get started, I want to take you all on a journey. You don't even have to leave your seats, but hopefully you have enough food for this journey. So I want you to come along with me. Imagine it's about 6:30 in the morning. The sun's just coming up over the horizon in a small village in East Africa. And a young mother wakes up off the floor where she's sleeping, reaches down, grabs her infant child that was sleeping right next to her, holds her infant child next to her chest and walks over to her young daughter. Her daughter's about 3 or 4 years old, but she's been very sick the last couple days. She's had a fever, she's been getting sick to her stomach, and she's not doing so well. Now this young mother would love to stay and care for her daughter, but she has to start her morning the same way she starts every morning, with her first responsibility, which is gathering water for the village. So she walks over to the door of her hut and meets the other mothers out in the community, and they start their trek to find water and bring it back for those that live in the community. And this trek might take a few hours, but it's the way that she must start every morning. And after walking for a few hours through hard terrain, past other villages, passing many potential threats along the way, they come to the only source of water for the village, which just happens to be a muddy hole in the ground. And as this mother leans down to fill up her bucket with water to take back to the village, she realizes and she knows that this is very likely the same water that made her daughter sick. It's likely a bacteria or parasite or something in that water that made her daughter and many of the other children in the village ill. But she also knows that this is the only place that they can get water. So without it, the community has no chance of survival. What's very unfortunate, she's not alone. There's an estimated between 750 to 780 million people in the world that lack easy, reliable access to clean drinking water. About 1 in 9 or 1 in 10 people. And as a result, nearly 2,000 children die every single day. Children under the age of 5, they don't have the immune systems built up to fight off some of those bacteria and the parasites. So unfortunately, they catch the brunt of the suffering, and nearly 2,000 die every single day because of it. And what opened my eyes to this crisis of the global water situation is it's not just a thirst issue. There's many issues that we serve to reduce suffering or to solve some of the suffering in the world, but water is not just a thirst issue alone. Of course, people that don't have access to clean drinking water face problems with dehydration. They also have hunger issues because their bodies are malnourished. They don't have water, they can't tend to crops, they can't grow food. They don't have water, they can't digest food properly. So even if they had it, they would still be malnourished. Without water, without clean drinking water or water for sanitation, they face many other health issues, from the bacteria and the parasites that they ingest. And people that are constantly struggling to survive and fight off these infections and fight off these diseases, they don't have the energy or the time to invest in helping build a community and help fighting their way out of poverty. The water crisis is also a child education issue for those young mothers that are always off trying to gather water, and for the young children that are sick. They don't have the health, they don't have the opportunity to get an education that could provide a better future, that could plant the seed for a better future. Many times it's a gender equality issue around the world. It's women who bear the burden of collecting water for the families. It's women who bear the burden of tending to the sick children. For those women that have to leave their home village and go off to collect water, many of them face issues of sexual assault along the way. So not only do they don't have water to survive and water to keep their children alive, but they have to face other atrocities as they go to get water. And for some places where they have limited access to clean drinking water, those people that control it use it as a means to subjugate others around them, to just further spread their tyranny or their aspirations for terrorism. I like to remind people, even with the seed, the soil, and the sunshine, the miracle of life doesn't begin until we add water. And any efforts to fight tyranny, poverty, or disease will provide no enduring cure unless we first start by providing clean drinking water to everybody.